106 R&B and throwbacks on 106 Live Radio. Atlanta's music leader.
Streaming live from Atlanta to a global audience on your favorite device. From Source of Wellness Media, we are 106inspiration.com.
Wake up, everybody!
Welcome to the Harper Show, where we are harping on purpose. Hosted by award-winning powerhouse speaker, life coach, and consultant, kissed by an angel dimple-faced Cynthia Harper herself. Just as it's quoted in her book, there is nothing new under the sun, though the way that you were called to do it just has not been done. We hope your will and purpose collides and springboards you into your destiny. It's time to harp on purpose here on 106 Live Radio.
World won't get no better. World won't get no better.
That's it, folks. The world won't get any better if we just let it be. It's Happy Friday to you. Happy Friday from 106liveradio.com. Happy Friday from the Harper Show. Yep, that's what we say every week. The world won't get any better if we just let it be. Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. It's time to fulfill the purpose you were called for, that you were predestined for, the thing that God slips into your spirit, that sometimes you say, oh, that's nothing. Yeah, that thing right there. That thing right there that we're talking about. And I'm telling you today, I'm excited because not only do I have professionals in their field of confidence and courageous, but women who are about their business, they're executives, they run their corporations, and then they've got some brilliant things going on with the brilliant broadcast. I'll introduce them in a second. But what I want to say to you is, are you stirred up? Are you excited about what God has called you to do? Are you ready for the revolution? Or are you just getting through? I know sometimes we get tired, we get frustrated. You know, this week God's given me some powerful words like confident, words like suffer. You know, sometimes we suffer to reign with God. And so if you've suffered some, it's okay. It's okay. It's for the eternal weight, the good glory that's coming behind it. Don't worry about what it's not. I'm just telling you, remember what he promised you that the promise is. See, I'm excited. I haven't seen a whole lot of the promises, but let me tell you, I know what's been preserved for me, and I know what's preserved for you. I can't have yours, and you can't have mine. So we might as well come together on one accord, my brothers and sisters, and wake up and do what you were called to do. Get excited, be stirred up, move in that thing that God has created inside of you. Oh, you're special. Nobody might not even know your name, but you're still special. It doesn't matter if you don't have any likes. It doesn't matter if you don't consider yourself popular. Popular and significance don't always go together. Being significant is because you're doing what you were called to do. And guess what? Can't nobody do it better than you. I'm excited. Tanasha Gray is in the house with me, and Deyonne, and one of our major chefs are here. We're ready to have an awesome Friday show with two dynamic guests. When we come back in a little bit, we're going to introduce these powerful, dynamic leaders. And, you know, sometimes you say leaders in their own right, but actually these are international leaders. And I'm not saying that lightly. They've trained from Atlanta to Africa, and they've done it well. They've left a legacy already. They're leaving an indelible mark and an imprint in the earth realm, one that other people can look at and say, let me have a little piece of that. And when you're secure about yourself, you don't mind sharing some of what you have, because you know that just like God gave it to you, he'll give you something else. So get ready for the weekend. Get ready to say, I'm ready to go to that next level of my purpose. And I will not be quiet. I will not sit still, because the world won't get any better if I just let it be. Welcome to 106liveradio.com. Give us a call, 404-464-8785.
The impossible dream, to fight
the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave dare not go.
I encourage you to dream the impossible dream. At the C. Harper Show, we consistently harp on purpose. Listen to me. Every matter has a purpose, and your purpose matters. Many ask, what is purpose? Purpose is the reason that God created you to do something. He created you to do something that exists only for you. Nothing is too great and nothing is too small. You see, it's the prescription that heals your ills. It's that thing which was created for your perfect will. It's palatable, planned, pragmatic, and precocious. Grab hold to it. Make it your focus. Sit back and relax as we inspire you each week with professionals who have discovered their God-given purpose. This is C. Harper, and I encourage you to reach for the stars.
To reach the unreachable star.
To reach the unreachable star. I tell you what, I bet you the guests in my on my show today are not afraid to reach for the star. And even if they fall, they're not afraid to continue to reach, because that's what people do that are about their business. They continue reaching and climbing. So I have with me two ladies, I can tell you, I know them personally. God's given them a purpose. He's given them a mission, and they understand it. And so you won't find them in other people's lane. You know, like sometimes people come to you and they say, you want to sell coffee? It'll make you a whole lot of money. Or you want to sell this makeup? You know, it's going to make you this. They said, no, we know what we called to do. So they understand. And I say that jokingly, but this is what purpose is about. You stay in your lane. So I'm going to introduce the first young lady. Her name is Dr. Deyonne Parker. She's the co-owner of Gem Makers LLC and the founder of Swag University. Swag. And I know y'all think it's all about swag, being sexy and cool, but no, it's not about that. And she's on a mission to empower ladies, leaders, and little girls to gain the clarity and confidence and courage they need to shine in their brilliant zone. Dr. Parker is a multinational speaker and a facilitator, and has graced stages in corporate classrooms around the world to include countries like North and South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. She's also a two-time published author and a certified professional coach that is often referred to as the Courage Catalyst for her unique ability to help her clients move from comfort to courage. Y'all know that it's kind of bad to get too comfortable if you don't do nothing about it. You got to step out in that courage, and that's what Dr. D does. Due to her desire to see little girls grow into courageous ladies, Dr. Parker also serves as a youth mentor, director of training, and current chairman of the executive board of directors for Diamond in the Rough Youth Development Organization. Dr. Parker holds a bachelor's of science degree. Y'all, you know, she bad, and I'm telling you, she a little bitty something. She bad, though. She bad. Look, she holds a bachelor's of science degree in human resource management from Bellevue University. And in 2019, from CICA International University and Seminary, conferred its highest honor, awarding Dr. Parker with the degree of Doctor of Philosophy and Humane Letters for the work that she does with women and girls. Dr. Parker is look at this, y'all, John Maxwell certified coach, speaker, and facilitator, and has earned several industry recognition certifications in leadership development and human-centered design. I could go on, and we're going to talk more about it, but I'm going to talk about her partner here. See, you know, sometimes people say partner in crime, but I say partner in development. I say partner in intelligence. My sister, Nicole, Dr. Nicole Steele, I wish I could find one little thing to read, but honestly, I'm just, you know, she's so dynamic. They're a mighty, both of them have so much to say. But let me say this, Dr. Steele is also the publisher of several books, not only books that will change your life and revolutionize the way you think. She's also, she has I love this, she has a confidence planner, 30-day confidence plan. Some of us need that. Listen, just because you bad the way you are, don't mean you don't need a little, you know, shaping up. every now and then I have to twerk myself up. So I signed up for the free gift. So I guess I'll buy the other gift since I'm going to get the free gift anyway. But she's got books. Her heart's desire, though, is to help little girls and ladies and people to become great leaders. I love that about Nicole. She's genuinely concerned. She's been running a nonprofit for the last 17 years here throughout, not just in the city of Atlanta, but nationwide. People contact her all over the world. How do you do this? How can you help us become better nonprofit leaders and directors? She was even given one of the high, and she's got a ton of awards, and I could read them. But when you get a fellow, when they nominate you for a fellow nomination and you receive that, you've done something different than the norm, okay? And so I credit her for consistently being awarded for, Lady of the Year and Woman of this and organization who stands out, international that. And the young girls that come through, they come back. And this is when you know you've made an indelible mark in the earth realm. When the people that you serve come back to serve you. That's what she's done. To date, how many people have your organization served that you founded? Over 5,000 youth and families they've served to help them with, depression, low self-esteem, all kinds of things that we all deal with in this world. So these two have come together. So now they're a dynamic duo. You know that this is a blessing from God because he says that where there's unity and two represents unity, he said, I will command the blessing. So they're on to something else new. Let me tell you, it's hard to keep up with them because they always got something new on the horizon. When we started in 2020 and we had all this racial discrimination and these ugly things going on, they immediately changed the conversation. They pivoted right in the right place and began to talk about race relations and dealing with colorism in our community and hatred and making sure that we were aware of what's going on. Together, you all, there's nothing that can stop them. Get back, sit back and relax as Dr. Nicole Steele, Dr. Deyonne Parker share with you their newest endeavor and all the great things that God is doing in their lives. Ladies, welcome to the studio of 106 Live Radio. How are you?
Amazing. And in awe of you, Dr. Cynthia Harper, harping on purpose.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And I got it from the crew. See, I've had the ability to walk with these young ladies. So iron sharpens iron. And, we often would say, I'm not iron. Well, quit saying all that foolishness. You better try to be iron. God wants you to be iron. He wants you to have an ironclad deal with him. He wants you to be yoked with him. And when he leads you to the left, you lead to the left. When he leads you to the right, you go to the right. So Dr. Nicole Steele.
Yes, ma'am.
This is your first time live into the studio. We had this brilliant, beautiful gem here before, and she talked about her dynamic book, If Her Purse Could Talk. Welcome to 106 Live Radio Studio. How are you today?
I am good. I am glad to be in the house.
Glad to be in the house. Well, we know the house will never be the same again with the two of you all here. I know that. I know there's a blessing in the atmosphere for somebody.
Amen.
What did God send you all to say and do? What do you want to talk with us about at 106 Live Radio?
Who wants to start?
Yes.
Tag, you're it.
Okay. Well, you're going to be tagged on in here. So let's just go. Thank you so much, first of all, for having us here. And I'm telling you, we are super excited to be able to share with your listening audience and those who are viewing us live as well, the things that God has literally just been having us in the lab with. Yeah. And when I say in the lab, I mean, we have been in the lab for a long time.
Yes.
And 2020, you're right. We did some pivoting. We had a vision he gave it to us, my goodness, years ago. And he literally was just carving it out and just changing it until the appropriate time. And so we are excited to say that we have and are launching an incredible network called Beyond Brilliant.
Beyond Brilliant.
Beyond Brilliant. And we are, let me just say, we are the Gem Makers duo. This is my purpose partner. Who would have thought that, God would knit together two young ladies, one from Omaha, Nebraska. That would be me. And yes, there are Black people in Nebraska. If you were thinking to yourself, I promise you, it's not just me and or my family either. I know what you're thinking. And this beautiful lady over here from Ann Arbor, Michigan, that he would put us together to bring this to his women. And together as a Gem Makers duo, we empower ladies, leaders, and little girls. And we do that through a number of ways. And one of the ways we're going to talk about today, women, we do that through camps, conferences, books, coaching, consulting, all those wonderful things. Leaders, we do the same thing. We consult and help people to go in their business, to pivot in their business, and coach them through some incredible times. There's a lot of people through last year that got lost, and that we've been coaching. And little girls, you've already heard my bad mama jamma sister over here founded an organization called Diamond in the Rough. And we have had the opportunity, I've had the opportunity to walk with her and empower little girls that way. And so today, God said the button that we had a chance to push was Beyond Brilliant. And the network is an incredible network that allows women to come together as a community. And not only come together, but to support one another, to be encouraged, to be challenged as well. And let me say this, because I'm going to tag my sister in here for just a minute, because she's not going to sit here silent at all. Beyond Brilliant. Let's just say what that is.
Okay.
So when we say beyond brilliant, God did not give us brilliance to just sit in a box. Right? We all have amazing gifts and talents, and we have businesses and books and ideas and innovations and inventions and all of those things. But it's not enough to just have those things and keep them to yourself. Right? He has called us to go beyond our brilliance, meaning that we've got to execute on those things that he has given us, to share it with the world, to help somebody else, right? And so when we're out there doing that, when we're living beyond our brilliance, we're walking in our true purpose. We're walking in our passion. We're literally doing things that frankly scare us, right?
Absolutely.
Because brilliance is, I mean, yes, it's amazing to be brilliant, but it's not enough. And there are so many people who have died who have not been poured out, if you will. Okay. The richest place in the world, we say, is the graveyard, because people have died with all these amazing gifts and talents. And so we are here to push women outside of their comfort zone, if you will, and help them to move beyond that space and to literally, get out here and empower other people with their gifts. And so the network does that. We have an amazing network that is going to really offer women that opportunity to get plugged in with some experts, to be coached, to coach one another, to be inspired, but to move into action. It's going to challenge them to move into action. And I want to tag my partner in here so that she can speak on it, because, yes, we like to drop those gems. Yes, so please pick up your treasure box, those of you who are listening, and pick up these gems that we're dropping. So go ahead, ma'am.
Well, we have a lot to really just share with your listening audience today. But I do want to just take a moment to just reiterate what Dr. D said. When it comes to brilliant things, brilliance is for others. When you think about how a diamond, we'll just use that because that's one of my favorite examples. But when diamonds shine with brilliance, it's others that behold that brilliance. You know what I mean? So when I think about your gifts, Dr. Cynthia, when I think about the gifts and talents that God has placed in your listeners, that brilliance is not for us. It's for the world to see. And brilliance begots brilliance.
That's right.
So I can be brilliant by myself, but what happens when I tag team with my sister here? And what happens when she then tags along with you?
Absolutely.
And how much more brilliant can we be together?
That's right.
And so that's the real concept behind the Beyond Brilliant Network, where people can share their brilliance without apology, without intimidation.
Yes.
Sometimes people get intimidated by other people's brilliance, but when it comes to God's purpose and plan, we have no time for that.
No.
Time is of the essence.
Yes.
God called you. He called Tanasha to this radio station for such a time as this.
That's right.
There are people who've been waiting for you to get into position.
That's right.
Right here at this mic. And it's not for you. So
yes.
I'm excited, but this particular project is multifold. So I'm glad we got some time, because I tell you, the Beyond Brilliant Network is just part
That's right.
of the bigger picture. There are so many components to this. I can't wait to tell you about something that God has done. And I want to also share for people who may feel like God's given me something, but the time hasn't come. What Dr. D did not share is the fact that God gave us this vision 10 years ago.
Years.
10 years ago.
Oh boy.
Years.
10 years ago. And I know because he took us back to the notes and when the original Facebook page was created and all of these different things.
Yes.
So sometimes we find ourselves in the lab and it may seem like God is silent. And you're wondering, Lord, did I hear you? I know you said this, that, and the other, but you see no movement.
See, no, hold that thought. We're going to take a station break here in a second. That's okay. No, you're good. I like that. We're going to take a station break here because we've had several guests to talk about the wait. 10 years, 16 years. We had Nia Allen with the #1 song on the gospel chart, and she waited 16 years before that song. But she sang for CeCe Winans, and she sang for this one, and the lady who sang "You Are the Air I Breathe," and we all loved that music. Had no idea she was the reason they were sounding so good, but it wasn't her time to come forth. Her brilliance was to help them push forth theirs then. So we're coming back on 106liveradio.com so we can talk about what does brilliant mean and when God has you waiting, how the definition says it's brilliant sunshine. It illuminates the scene. Yeah. Woo! We're listening to 106liveradio.com, the C. Harper Show with Dr. Deyonne Parker and Dr. Nicole Steele of Beyond Brilliant Broadcast.
Broadcasting live from Atlanta while serving the entire globe. It's the fastest growing radio on the web. It's 106liveradio.com.
Hello, this is C. Harper of the C. Harper Show, and today I want to explain the importance of donating blood. Every 2 seconds in the United States, someone needs blood. One donation can potentially save up to 3 lives and is essential for surgeries, cancer treatment, chronic illnesses, and traumatic injuries. So be the hero America needs and donate today. Contact or visit the redcrossblood.org or any plasma center local to you to make an appointment today. This information is sponsored by Dre Patrick of the Foreign Matters Show and themillclass.com.
From brokenness to wholeness gives an intimate, vivid look of the marriage of Jason and Tanasha Gray as they work through 12 years of the bondage of betrayal and adultery. The couple peels back these extraordinary events, which are divided into 4 distinct segments: the pre-discovery, full disclosure, restoration, and wholeness phases. As they go through these giant steps and learn through inner healing, matrimonial wholeness, and with the miraculous restorative power of God, they are able to walk a renewed, restored, and redeemed marriage. So please, visit sourceofwellness.org in order to learn more and purchase a copy for yourself today, as well as learn more about the authors and stay in touch through social media. Thank you, and God bless.
Are you thinking of changing your marketing strategy? 106 Live Radio is the solution you need to promote your goods and services. For a limited time only, we are offering special advertising rates on our fast-growing radio network. We can also help you create an audio commercial or a website banner that fits your business needs. It is just that simple. Visit our website at 106liveradio.com for details.
Bringing you the best shows and music 24/7 on your favorite radio. It's 106liveradio.com.
Download the 106 Live Radio app from your Google Play Store. Or find us on the TuneIn app.
You're listening to the C. Harper Show, harping on purpose on 106 Live Radio, simulcasting on 106 R&B and Throwback and 106 Inspiration.
106liveradio.com, listening to the C. Harper Show with Dr. Deyonne Parker and Dr. Nicole Steele, and they're introducing us to their new project, Beyond Brilliant Broadcast. And I was looking up what brilliant actually meant, and we talked about that, but I was wondering, it says a brilliant is exceptionally clever or talented. Exceptionally. And then it talked about the brilliant cut in the necklace. It's 4 rows of brilliance, and it's beautiful. And then I looked at the round brilliant, beautiful diamond. That's a whole lot of stuff going on there.
Yes, it is.
You mean to tell me we qualify to have all that right there going on?
Yes, we do.
All right now.
Because our daddy said so.
All right, because he said so. So tell me about this broadcast network where you left off.
Well, you have actually unveiled the second part of the project.
Okay.
You didn't realize that. But
Thank you.
We have the Beyond Brilliant Network, which is a community for those ladies and leaders. But what God did, because he is an exceptional God that always does exceeding abundantly above all that we could ask or think, not only did he have us push the button on the broadcast, on the network, but he hand delivered us an opportunity to actually start a television broadcast called Beyond Brilliant. And so that launched maybe about 3 weeks ago. And it currently, with a partnership with Preach the Word Network, we are able to reach people around the globe. We have our show, which airs in 3 markets here domestically, here in Atlanta, in Los Angeles, and in New York. Wow. As well as worldwide through technology, because God is he's incredible. And so we're excited to be able to take the message of going beyond brilliant, beyond our reach, our physical reach.
Yeah.
And we're excited about this season. Though it took 10 years, it says it doesn't tarry. You know what I mean?
Right.
We just have to continue. We have to press on. We cannot give up. So if there are listeners who are tuned in, who have a dream and they think their time has gone, I encourage them today. God has not forgotten. Our God is a promise keeper.
Yes, he is.
And we are just testimonies of his goodness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Testimonies of his goodness.
Yes, we are.
And so what you're going to, you could keep some of this brilliance for yourself, but you're going to be inviting women to come
Sharing
in.
the platform.
Absolutely.
That's what it is.
Absolutely. To allow others to shine. And one of the things that we want to say as well as when we talk about empowering ladies, leaders, and little girls, we do that, but we help them to find the clarity, confidence, and courage to shine in their brilliant zone. And so I think it's only fair that we break that down a little bit more so that people understand, how do you go beyond brilliant? Because they're like, what does that mean? I understand, okay, beyond brilliant, but how do I get there? And those of you who are listening who might have, again, as my sister said, have just been stuck. Maybe last year was real hard for you. And it was a lot. We all went through a lot. But this is possible. And we are living testimonies of this because we went through a lot. Ooh. But God reminded us that was it 2019? Yes. That he gave us the secret sauce to going beyond brilliant and shining in your brilliant zone. And that secret sauce is called our 3C master model. And he's literally sat us down through some of the toughest seasons that we were having, and to sit at the feet of other people that were sharing their brilliance. And that's when he gave us that. And that 3C master model consists of clarity, confidence, and courage. Now, when you think about clarity is literally about getting clear. And it's really about clearing away the fog and being able to see what's in front of you. And sometimes what happens when you do that, it's scary. And I'm just being completely real, because it takes away your excuses, right? Because we do pray for clarity. We want clear vision.
Absolutely.
But when it happens, it's like, oh my God, I have to do something now, right? But clarity is about really getting very clear and understanding what God has for you, but doing something further about it, about what you see in front of you.
And let me say this about clarity, because with us being here on your show and knowing that God has called you specifically to help people walk in their purpose, it is important to be clear about the purpose that God has for you.
Specifically.
Oftentimes people are clear, like sometimes with clients that we work with or with my girlfriends, I can see clearly, like, oh girl, yes, you're gifted, you're called to do this. But I also need to know, what has God called me to do? I need to be clear about my personal path. And that comes with time. That comes with sitting at the feet of God. Sometimes Dr. D talked about the cloudiness, and there are a lot of things that can cloud our vision. Just the time that it takes for that vision to come to fruition can cloud our vision. Life's circumstances. When Dr. D talks about the toughest times of our life, I'm telling you, purpose is going to cost you something. But if you faint not, God is faithful. He is faithful. So clarity is key. Clarity. And guess what? Clarity has to be evaluated. It's really funny. Today, my husband is going for an eye doctor visit. Now, he has had glasses for a long time, but he needs to go get his eyes checked yet again. Everybody needs to revisit that prescription and to say, okay, what is the purpose and plan? I need clarity for this season of my life. If I, in 2021, was still operating the way that I did in 2002, I would not be able to be effective.
That's right.
So when Dr. D talks about sitting at the feet, one of the best things that we did for ourselves individually and collectively was invested in ourselves and to sit at the feet and to get a coach in our life. Coaches need coaches. I said that the other day.
Come on.
Consultants need consultants. Mentors need mentors. So we never fully arrived, but that was the best investment that we ever made, to be able to sit down somewhere
and take the time. We literally sat down somewhere. And I think it's so important, when we talk about clarity, we often we have a master class that we teach called "Is Your Vision Blurry?" And we take people through a process of really looking at your vision and comparing it to that of, your prescription.
Sure.
And I think it needs to be said that we talk about this all the time, about my prescription not being my sister's prescription. Now, I've been wearing glasses all of my life. But if I give my sister these glasses to wear, she can't see out of these because it's not her vision. And God gives us specific vision. And you alluded to that earlier. When you think about me giving her these glasses and she tried to walk in these, she would hurt herself. I'm telling you now, she would hurt herself. Because she won't be able to see good these glasses, because they weren't made for her. They were made for me. And sometimes I think that people hurt themselves trying to walk out somebody else's vision when God didn't give it to them. God gave you your specific vision to walk out. But I think as we compare that to sight, we also have to be mindful that there are things that even come to harm our sight. When we think about cataracts, when we think about blurred vision, when we think about, I have an astigmatism, which means I have multiple vision, right? And we see, in our vision, we got lots of vision. we have to be careful with that as well, because God called us to do certain things in certain seasons. And so when we get outside of those seasons, we'll hurt ourselves as well, right? It is not for us to do everything in one season. It's one thing that God has called you to do at a time. Or maybe he said, I want you to do these two things.
Sure.
Right? So I think when you think about clarity, it really does cause us to stop and think. But that's the first C. The second C is confidence. And I'm going to let my sister talk about confidence in our second C. I know she was here the other day talking about confidence. So that second C, I'm going to pass off to Dr. Steele and let her talk about that.
Yes. When you think about confidence, once you're clear about what God has called you to do, it's not enough just to know, because a lot of people do that. We think about vision board parties and all kinds of cool stuff, and they have the pretty vision boards and the journals and all the colorful pages in the journal where the vision has been written clearly. But if you don't get up with confidence and take a step forward, what is it all for? We go back to you brilliant, but you brilliant in your closet. You wasn't meant to be brilliant in your closet. It's not enough. You need to go beyond brilliant. So we talked on your show just a couple of days ago about the importance of being rooted and grounded, but not in the things. When people think about confidence, they think about the definition and really what the world says about confidence. But my personal experience, Dr. D's personal experience, your personal experience is really having your confidence rooted and grounded in Christ.
So let's talk about that, though. So, we have so many little girls, so many little boys, actually, and they're not trained to be confident.
Yeah.
I mean, you work with young girls, you work with ladies and leaders, you know what young girls are going through every single solitary day. How do we start at home? How do we, Well,
one of the things that I think is important, and this is for all of the parents who are listening, kids are watching. And so one of the most important things that we can do is to model confidence, not perfection, because there is a difference.
Absolutely.
But if you are teaching your child to know who you are, baby, use your voice, love yourself, love your body. But yet when you look in the mirror, you go, oh, Lord, look at these hips. Look at these. Look at this hair. Oh, I can't stand. They're watching. If they don't care what you say, they are watching. When it comes to just even things, when you think about what confidence looks like in an everyday situation, kids are watching. So we have to be mindful that it's not just our words, it's our actions. We have to watch the words that we speak over our children, over other people's children. Words are containers of power. And so when I think about young people, be it that have come in and through Diamond in the Rough, or people that I know, and when we look back at their childhood and to see their confidence snatched by the ill intentions of other people, by the careless words and conversations that are spoken over them. But there's still hope. There's hope. There's hope. It does not matter when we get, again, our confidence rooted and grounded in Christ. So we need to remind young people and old people alike of what God says about you, about the fact that it doesn't matter how you are created, what gifts and talents. I, again, don't need to compete and compare mine to Dr. D. Dr. D is brilliant in all of this loveliness. You are brilliant in all of that. And guess what? I got brilliance over here too, so I can celebrate myself while celebrating my sisters. There is a myth that I think comes from the pit of hell that women can't get together. The Beyond Brilliant Network has come to cancel that.
All of that.
You know what? I can be confident and clear about who God has called me to be while celebrating you and helping you be all that God has created you to be, because we're better together. So confidence is an important component. Confidence is it's essential, when it comes to brilliance. All three of the C's. Clarity, confidence, and of course, then we got that courage, that courage piece, which is important. So I'm gonna tag you and let you talk about that.
I love it. Yes, oh yes, oh yes. It's so funny because we talk about this all the time, where God has called us to. It may have been an area in which you struggled in, right? And it's so funny. And so when I think about that, God has called me to be the courage catalyst. However, was that me?
That's okay. That was me.
Okay.
I was trying to make sure you could see it on my show.
Excellent. But God has called me to be the courage catalyst. And I'm the hand on your back that pushes you out of your comfort zone all the way into your courage zone. But he had to start with me. He challenged me to go. I mean, you know how somebody is going like kicking and screaming and somebody's pushing you. That's me. But he's always called me to do things and to take risks. And I go a little bit, fearful. But it's funny how he said that I am the encourager of the fearful dreamer. And when I think about courage is a decision. We have to first decide to be courageous. It's a decision. It literally, let that sink in for just a second. You don't always have to feel courageous to be courageous, but you have to make a decision in order to do something, right? And when you're deciding to take that risk, to take that jump, God meets you right there. He called us to be very strong and courageous. That is what his word says. And when I think about it, I tell you about our comfort zones. I mean, God snatched me out of my comfort zone so many times. I mean, boy, I learned some valuable lessons being in my comfort zone. I mean, I've traveled around the world, and I will never, ever forget when he took me to Dubai. And on my trip to Dubai, on my way there, the airline lost all of my luggage, every piece, all gone. Nothing. And I had never been there before. And I was supposed to present in front of a room full of leaders and show up, right? There were several titles above who I was. But God said, do it anyway. And so, being in the Middle East, I didn't know how to dress. I didn't know what to, but he clothed me while I was there. And he gave me courage to stand up in front of people who spoke a different language than me and to deliver what I was supposed to deliver. And I learned 3 things. I learned that I was very resourceful because I made 3 outfits out of one. Number 1, I was very resourceful.
I love it.
Number 2, I was resilient in the face of that challenge. So when God put me in that space, and here I am, the courage catalyst telling people to get out of their comfort zone, he said, I'm going to snatch you out of yours and see what you do. You got too comfortable. And I need to see what you can do so that I can trust you to help other people get out here. So he built my resilience in the moment. And if I didn't go, it would have cost me something, right? But going also cost me something. So comfort costs you something, and so does courage. If you're going to stay in your comfort zone, it's going to cost you opportunities. It's going to cost you a dream. It's going to cost you a relationship. It's going to cost you financially. But if you go in your courage zone, it will cost you time, effort, energy, right? A little bit of sweat and tears is going to cost you. But the last thing that I did learn when he snatched me out of that comfort zone was that I was ready. I was ready to place myself intentionally into some spaces that would cause me to be a little bit more, shaky, but to rely on him. Him alone. So when you think about that master model we just broke down to you, it's 3 C's: clarity, confidence, and courage, right? It's that understanding, then it's the knowing, and then it's the going. You got to do something with it. And once those 3 come into alignment with each other, you get into the transformation point. And that is the beyond brilliant zone, right? That's the brilliant zone. And that's when you are flowing in it and you're like high-fiving yourself. You and God are like, yes, we are doing it. And that is what we want people to feel, not only through our broadcast, but also as a member of the Beyond Brilliant Network, that you can align those 3 C's, but you're going to have to visit them and revisit them over and over, but to go into that brilliant zone.
When I think about courage, I think about, remember the cowardly lion from the Wizard of Oz?
Yes.
He was scared.
Yes.
Where you got going? He had his courage up. Yes. I think about that.
Yes.
I do think about that. And sometimes you do think there's a lion in the street and I can't go out there. I can't go. Oh my gosh. You look out at the audience and you see people and you're like, you're just shaking in your boots. But I guess you said when you take your boots off and say, God, put your boots on me. Strap them up tight.
Yes.
So I can go out here before this audience and do what you've given me to say or do.
Yes.
Because it's not about you.
It wasn't about me. That's exactly right.
So this opportunity opened up for you all. You decided to open it up for other people. You put 3 or 4 shows into the project.
Yes. And
we out here.
We all the way out here. We all the way out here. And doing it afraid, doing it, all of the things that we encourage women to do. We are walking this thing out every day ourselves.
Every day.
Well, the scripture says fear and trembling.
Yes.
You're working this out, your soul salvation with fear and trembling. So that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you are showing people you have to be confident. You have to be courageous. You have to be clear.
Mm-hmm.
And so it does, though. At times, the vision does get cloudy.
Mm-hmm.
At times, you get frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
At times, the confidence level is down.
Mm-hmm.
And at times, the courage is totally out of the window. Oh,
Yes.
I can't.
Yes.
I had a meeting with someone last week, and they said this to me. They said, this is what you should think about. You know the song, Row, Row, Row Your Boat? He said, you should, when the answers are no, 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 simply this one is yes. No. Okay, but this is yes. And he said you get a lot of no's before you get the yes.
Love
so
that.
to somebody out there, before we go into this break, first of all, get clarity, as the sisters talked about. They're going to come back and go into some other details. Get clarity of where you're supposed to be. Take off other people's glass. Don't see the world through my lens or their lens or your mama's lens. You see people, everybody in our family, we all do the same thing. And that's beautiful if that's the true call.
Right.
But if it's not the call and you're called to run a nonprofit and you're called to be a hairstylist and you're called to be the plumber, be the best plumber.
Yes.
Be the best hair roller queen in the world.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
That's what we want to get people to today.
Yeah.
This is a network, folks. This is a network for all of us. And we need this because sometimes we do get afraid.
Yeah.
We do.
Absolutely.
Stay tuned. Come back and let's hear some more things about Beyond Brilliant broadcasts with Dr. Nicole Steele and Dr. Deyonne Parker, multinational speakers who are gracing Little old C. Harper on the 106 Live Radio Show, where excitement meets diversity 24/7.
Broadcasting live from Atlanta while serving the entire globe. It's the fastest growing radio on the web. It's 106liveradio.com.
Before you say it or post it, think. T, is it true? H, is it helpful? I, is it inspiring? N, is it nice? K, is it kind? So remember, before you say it or post it, think. Be kind, be respectful, be loving, and live in peace.
I want to get back to kissing the cheeks of my grandbabies, making Sunday dinner with a house full of family and lots of laughs.
COVID-19 has changed how we live and how we feel. But now there are vaccines, and they are the very first step that let us get back to what we miss most. It's okay to have questions.
Is it safe?
Should I wait? Now, get the facts. Visit getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision when vaccines are available to you. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Courage. I learned it from my adoptive mom. Hold my hand.
You hold my hand. Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
As an organ donor, your story doesn't have to end. The good in you can live on. In fact, you can save up to 8 lives and restore sight and health for many more. Sign up right now online as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. You'll be happy you did. And just maybe someone else will be happy too. Go to organdonor.gov. It saves lives. This message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Health Resources, and Service Administration.
You listen when your body says, I'm tired, or I'm hungry. What if your body said something else might be wrong? Gynecologic cancers, cervical, ovarian, and uterine cancers have symptoms, so pay attention. If your body says something may be wrong, please listen. If it goes on for 2 weeks, see a doctor. It may be nothing, but find out, learn the symptoms, get the inside knowledge about gynecologic cancers.
Are you thinking of changing your marketing strategy? 106 Live Radio is the solution you need to promote your goods and services. For a limited time only, we are offering special advertising rates on our fast-growing radio network. We can also help you create an audio commercial or a website banner that fits your business needs. It is just that simple. Visit our website at 106liveradio.com for details.
Bringing you the best shows and music 24/7 on your favorite radio. It's 106 Live Radio, broadcasting live from Atlanta while serving the entire globe. It's the fastest growing radio on the web. It's 106liveradio.com.
The C. Harper Show.
Welcome back to the C. Harper Show. You know, though we're having a good time, we're actually being trained of what to do and what not to do and where we're going. We're talking with the founders of Beyond Brilliant Network. Not only are they the founders of this network, but literally, individually, these ladies have both capitalized on the market that God's given them. Dr. Parker is a multinational trainer. Dr. Nicole's a multinational trainer, but they've formed organization. They've trained people. And I want to talk about some of your training that you offer people and who is it for and who is it not for. I often see that you have training classes for this, that, and the other. What do you hope to accomplish with the trainings that you offer people?
One of the things that we have really prided ourselves at Gym Makers, which is the organization that's bringing forth the Beyond Brilliant Network, is really creating experiences for women to shine. And so, as you said, that's done through a plethora of different formats, including conferences and courses, some of the creative content that we've been able to create, webinars, live events, you name it. When I think about the women that we have been able to impact, as well as to join in partnership with, it runs the gamut from, people in the nonprofit sector. You think about people in the faith community and being able to empower women of faith through their churches and their women's ministries. I think about the book clubs and the social networks, the gatherings. Women gather. We've been gathering since the beginning of time. And so where women are, that's where we like to go. But then we think about the opportunities God has created in the corporate space and in women in technology and in the D&I space. I mean, you think about it, women are making moves.
They are.
And shining brilliantly in every area. I'm thinking about the mothers that we've been able to bring together to let a mother know you are not alone. While you are raising this young child or this young adult up, God has not forgotten you. Be encouraged, mother.
Yeah.
And so we've been able to do that through a lot of different platforms. And so you can tell them about some of our, I guess, most popular offerings and some of the things that we've been able to do.
I'd be glad to. And I wanted to say this as well, Dr. Cynthia. This pandemic has been really hard on women and women in color, especially.
That's right.
And a lot of women lost jobs, had to forfeit their careers because they were forced to. And so when I think about the alarming, I could quote you stats, they're just alarming when I think about that. And women now, as hard as it was to get to the level that they have been able to get to and still needing to gain ground, had to step back. And I just imagine, someone who's listening right now who had to make that hard choice. We've been able to impact the lives of women in that area. And one of the classes that we love teaching, I absolutely love teaching this, especially with my partner here. We teach a class called Just a Girl with Goals. And we've had the honor to be able to do that in corporations and to speak to their women's groups. And every time we do it, it's always the response that we get that, they didn't know what they were coming into, because when you think about goal setting, they're like, oh this is not sexy. I did not want to goal set. But we challenge their perspective, and the way that we teach it is totally different, because it's not normal goal setting, as the world would say, that you need to go after that job, have the 2 kids, a house with a white picket fence, and all of that, that the world says. No, it's 3 areas that you really need to think differently about. And it's the hard questions. It's, what experience would you like to have in the world? What experiences? And then, what contributions do you want to make? And then the next one is, how do you want to grow as a person? Just for the sake of growing. And if you can answer those 3 big questions, my brother Vishen Lakhiani, that's his work. He's the CEO of Mind Valley, and he challenges you to think about that. And we utilize that in this course to help people to go deeper than just setting a goal, putting a deadline on it, and moving on. It's really in those 3 areas, when you can break it down and answer those questions, that's when you form goals around the answers to those big 3 questions. And if things that you're going through in your life don't align with the answers to those 3 questions, then you have to really challenge yourself to think about, why am I doing it? Why am I doing it? We also start that class by asking a really big question. It's, are you a starter or a finisher? And so those of you out there, and some of you might have been in our classes, and that always tricks people up. They stop for a second, and then some of our students do not like that question at all, because it forces you to tell the truth, right? And all of us would like to answer that question by saying, I'm a finisher. Yes, and I'm a finisher. I finish everything that I start. And my question back to you is, why? Because first of all, let's talk about how you're finishing. You might not have any business finishing what you started. You should never have started it, right? So sometimes we finish things and we're wasting time on those things because God didn't call you to finish that thing. You're supposed to be working on something else. Or you ran over people to get there. You're leaving bodies in your wake to just finish something. So are you finishing with integrity? And there's a lot of us that start things, multiple things, and they found their way to the corner with the dust bunnies, and they're just sitting there waiting to be finished. But for some reason, you have given up on it. And it might be because of perfectionism or lack. These are all excuses, by the way. Lack of time or consistency, or the fear of failure or the fear of success. We talk about that because that means I've got to do something else with it. Oh my gosh! So that's just one of the classes that we teach when we talk about Just a Girl with Goals. It really does challenge you to think differently and to set goals that are actually meaningful to you, that you will actually do. And so we love, we've been requested to teach that. I think we're going to end up teaching that probably the rest of the year, because we got another one.
And it's important for people to know, when it comes to goals, again, we need to be revisiting those on a regular basis. You know what I mean? You can have you can be a person who is very clear about your goals, but if you're not revisiting those to see, one, how am I doing? Am I achieving them? Have they changed? Do I need to tweak them? And I love the course. And I do think about a lot of the feedback that we get from women all over the world who are impacted and whose lives are truly changed because they can now attach that goal to God's purpose and plan for their life. It's not just I love what we talk about in terms of the fluffy goals.
Yes.
Yes. We're going to take a station break and come right back. I want to leave something with you, and that is, just be honest with yourself. This is a time to correct your wrongness. Are you a starter or are you a finisher? And how do you finish? Think about that. Meditate on that. Contemplate which one of those you are, and then begin to tackle them. Because guys, we're not here just to be cute. I'm here to learn. I learned from all of my guests. All of my guests were so powerful. So we want to leave that with you. Are you a starter and are you a finisher? And how do you do both of them? You're listening to C. Harper Show with Dr. Nicole Steele and Dr. Deyonne Parker as they share with us the Beyond Brilliant Network and broadcast, which is really a network, and all the trainings and teachings that they've done to move the needle further in their lives and our lives. We'll be right back. C. Harper Show, 106liveradio.com.
106 R&B and throwbacks on 106 Live Radio. Atlanta's music leader.
Streaming live from Atlanta to a global audience on your favorite device. From Source of Wellness Media, we are 106inspiration.com.
Wake up, everybody!
Welcome to the C. Harper Show, where we are harping on purpose. Hosted by award-winning powerhouse speaker, life coach, and consultant, kissed by an angel dimple-faced Cynthia Harper herself. Just as it's quoted in her book, there's nothing new under the sun, though the way that you were called to do it just has not been done. It's time to harp on purpose here on 106 Live Radio.
Well, won't get no better.
Dream the impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave dare not go.
I encourage you to dream the impossible dream. At the C. Harper Show, we consistently harp on purpose. Listen to me. Every matter has a purpose, and your purpose matters. Many ask, what is purpose? Purpose is the reason that God created you to do something. He created you to do something that exists only for you. Nothing is too great and nothing is too small. You see, it's the prescription that heals your ills. It's that thing which was created for your perfect will. It's palatable, planned, pragmatic, and precocious. Grab hold to it. Make it your focus. Sit back and relax as we inspire you each week with professionals who have discovered their God-given purpose. This is C. Harper, and I encourage you to reach for the stars.
To reach the unreachable star.
Listen, we're back here at the C. Harper Show. I get excited on my own message because I'm preaching to myself. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm getting my stuff off. I've gotten my stuff off the shelf. Things are closing and moving forward. Discipline yourself. Listen, get the courage to be clear. Listen, understand that we've got to be confident and then we've got to be courageous. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to discipline, chasing yourself to do what God's called you to do. Somebody's waiting on you. I'm inspired. Look, I'm guilty of some stuff. I'm guilty of not finishing some stuff. Me and my sister Tanasha talk about it all the time. But this is no season to stay where you are. And I'm very serious about this. If you want to stay where you are, then stay where you are. But this is an opportunity to escape the conformity of being comfortable. It's time to renew the mindset, people. It's time to stir up the gift. It's time to get up and say, you know what? Okay, I don't have enough money, but I'm going to start it anyway. It's time for me to take a class or two. Invest in yourself. If you buy some designer shoes or a purse or you eat out 4 times a week, you can invest in a class for yourself. It's time and that's what these women are doing with Beyond Brilliant Broadcast. They're making it available. And I'm telling you, I've taken their classes. I've gone to their workshops. I've been to their annual women's stuff, and it's phenomenal. And their creative is, I don't know what. I tell you the truth. So when we left out, you were talking about what you were talking about. And I want you to finish talking about some of the things that you're doing in your classes and the students and how you leave them motivated and moving to the next level.
Well, I do want to just say this. Dr. D and I come from a place of transparency. So the things that we are teaching, we're not teaching from book knowledge.
Okay.
We're talking the sweat, the blood, the tears, the mistakes. When we challenge people in our Just a Girl with Goals course, and we ask them the question, are you a starter or a finisher? It's not to bring shame. It's because I was the queen of starting stuff. I am a creative. God has given me the gift of creativity.
Yes.
I'm multifaceted, and sometimes I can get ahead of myself. I can get really, really excited, and before I can finish something, he gives me something else. But going back to the timing, I used to call myself the queen of the 75%. I could get it right to about 75%. And then there would be either perfectionism, because it's not perfect, just the way that God had shown me in my mind. Or maybe it was self-sabotage. Maybe in some seasons of my life, it was fear of success. Because for me, it was like, oh, this might really work. And if this works, oh my gosh, things are going to be different.
Right.
And so I say that to encourage your listeners that when we, be it on these airways, on our broadcasts, or in our live or virtual experiences, we are creating an environment and a space for women to come and to bring their truth, leave the mask at the door, and to come really ready to be transformed and to help to transform others. This is all, we're all a work in progress. So, I just wanted to.
Okay, I'm going to talk about the mask right quick. I want you to define this thing with the mask. So when you go to the store and you buy a mask for your face and it sticks to you. A mask is supposed to stick, right? And then you peel it off. It's hard to peel it off because sometimes it sticks. Yeah. And it's almost like a permanent fixture. You be walking around the house looking all crazy. I love that black charcoal mask. It's really good. And it pulls all these toxins out of my skin, right? So this mask thing, we put it on and it's thick. Or we put it on and maybe it's thin. Because when it's thicker, it does come off a little easier. But what if it's spread it so evenly?
Oh my goodness.
It's distributed so well. How do you do with that mask?
May I?
You may.
May I? I'm jumping at the bit right here. And my sister knows why. Again, transparency. There is a big season of my life where I was faking, fooling, and fronting. Period. Had the mask on. It was beautiful. I mean, and when I speak on this, I actually have a beautiful blinged out mask because that's what we want to present to the world, right? And when somebody asks us, "Are we okay?" What do? We pull out that mask. I'm fine. I'm good. Everything is right with the world. God love you with the love of the Lord. And knowing we are dying inside. But we also have to understand, in order for somebody else to be okay with taking that mask off, we have to create a safe space for them to do so. And so when we talk about our network, that is exactly what we're doing for women, is to help them to peel off that mask. It may have been on there for so long that it's going to take some time to peel off. You might not just snatch somebody's mask off like that because they may have been dealing with trauma, right? And in my case, that's what it was. I when I was 17, 18 years old, I was stabbed with a 6-inch butcher knife by my sister's abuser. And that just sent my life on a swirl, right? And trauma has tentacles. And that's what I learned about just doing the work for myself. But it took me a while to do that work. And that's why I held so tightly onto that mask, because I didn't want anybody to know, and I didn't want them to define me by that. And so when we speak about the mask, there are some people that are putting on the mask because they want to appear perfect. But there are other women that are putting on the mask because they're so broken. And we got to be careful because they're fragile. And if
that's it.
Yeah, they're fragile.
So when you're peeling off that mask, sometimes you leave spots here.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not, distributed so well here. So this doesn't come off so well. I mean, I want you to make women comfortable that have on a mask, but to let them know that in your space, we can help you get that thing off.
Yes.
Because I think everybody got something they want to mask.
Yes.
There's some things I'm going to die with. You hear me? My grandmother used to teach me that. Now, it's some things now, because see, the older I get, I can't afford to stay stuck.
Yes.
I can't afford to be sick.
Right.
I can't afford to fool myself and live on a lie.
Come on.
So at this point, I've grown up to the point where I really don't care what people think no more. So if the truth is truth come out, it comes out. Now, you have to be wise. One thing my spiritual mother teaches us is be wise what you say and who you say it to.
That's right.
Every audience can't handle all the truth.
That's right.
But there are some things in some places and some people that they need to know.
That's right.
Up under this is a lot of dirt. When you take this thing off, it's not so good.
That's
but I
right.
want women to be comfortable to say that I'm going to remove this mask. Oh, I'm going to remove whatever I'm trying to cover up. And I don't care that you judge me. It takes a lot to not be ashamed of your past.
Oh my goodness. You said a mouthful. And Dr. Cynthia, when you talk about, not being able to share it with everybody, not everybody has earned the right to hear your story.
That's it.
Now, and you have to be very careful about who you share that with. And I love what you just said, because I think that, we do have to make a choice, right? We have to make a choice of what we're going to keep buried. And we got to make a choice of whether to pull that root, because it continues to fester. And that's what I learned over the course of my life. And God said that my mask was to be removed to teach other women. Yep. And that was my journey, and I had to do it, but he had to start with me, and I had to make the courageous choice to do that, because I was so broken, and I had to be vulnerable in my brokenness, and I had to give it to him first, and I had to allow him to take those band-aids off and to scrub that nasty, filthy thing that was underneath there away. And so many of us are dealing right now with a lot of mental health issues. And I think that it's so important for us to be able to hold space for one another, especially after coming from 2020. 2020 wasn't my hardest year. It was one of but I wrote a letter to 2019 because I was done with 2019. I was thinking that 2020 was going to be good to me, but however, but in 2020, there were so many people who lost things, right? There's a lot of loss. And so it has played on a lot of, I believe, our minds, and we've got to take the time to take care of our mental well-being. Whether that means go get a therapist. Honey, I'm gonna tell you right now, I have the best therapist, and I have shared her all over my sister circle. But you have to we learned this a long time ago. Someone said it so well to us. We need a safe place to bleed.
We're a safe place to bleed.
You have to have that. And there's no shame in you being able to go and seek help for yourself. Just as we would do our physical bodies, we have to take care of our minds. And we've been through a lot traumatically. Over the last year.
Traumatic trauma.
The trauma.
Our childhood drama has become some of our adult trauma.
My God.
On top of everything else that we are experiencing.
Yes.
Pandemic, racial inequalities.
You name it.
Women being displaced and marginalized in society. Bad relationships.
Yes.
Good gracious alive. The trust factor has gone out the window for many women. So we don't understand the word trauma. We used to think that trauma was just for PTSD.
Exactly.
And I didn't realize that till the last 5 years of my life. Girl, that's traumatic. What you experience in that situation is trauma.
Trauma.
But I didn't know that. And this is why we need people like you. We need the Beyond Brilliant broadcast to help us to deal with these things. These things are real.
Yes.
Mental health is a mess. But it is it's on the spectrum where it's top.
My God.
We need help.
Yeah.
All of us.
We all do. Agreed.
Everybody.
Yes.
Everybody. Because
I agree.
what 2020 did with the pandemic and COVID-19, even for those that may have skipped through life up until 2020 with very little trauma in their life, everyone experienced trauma. We have gone through a year of HE double hockey sticks.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so by trying to just push on past, and now I look around and I get it. People are fatigued. They're ready to get out. They're ready to snatch off the mask. They're ready to travel and just get back to life as normal. But let me tell you something. If you don't pause for the cause,
come on,
and take a moment to check yourself and give yourself permission, we have to constantly, we weren't built for this. We were not built for what we just went through.
That's right.
So having a space where we can have honest conversation, where we can learn one from another, there is nothing more powerful than, girl, you are not alone.
That's right.
The truth.
That's right.
Girl, you are not alone.
That's right.
There's power in that. Because you can go through, and I'm not talking about the woe is me stories, because we have those, but I'm even talking about the ones that are on the top of their game, the ones that are shining with brilliance from all, everybody's thinking that they're shining in brilliance, but yet and still they may be suffering in silence.
Yeah.
There may be something in their life. They may be running forward with that professional, they're shining professionally, but personally they're broke down. Relationally,
but now let me ask you this though.
Yes.
Do we ever arrive?
Never.
Because we always got something we're going to be dealing with.
Till the day we take our last breath.
And suffering actually is God's way. It's a part of it. It says, many are the affliction of the righteous, but I'll deliver you from them all. That's scriptural. And so, and that was my word he gave me this morning. People are going to suffer.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of it I've called, and some of you've caused yourself. And I began to run down all the things that I've suffered. And God said, and he showed me, you did that one. You did this. You did that. Most of the suffering we cause ourselves. And I began to look at him. I was like, dang. He was like, I didn't call for you to do this, but you made that decision.
Yes.
And that decision made that happen.
Every decision has a consequence.
That's exactly right.
But God's grace is sufficient.
But his grace is
sufficient. All the time.
Even in the midst of our decisions, even in the midst, some people are suffering from things that weren't decisions that they made, but God's grace is still sufficient.
Yes.
His grace is sufficient.
God wants them to know that he has not forgotten them.
That's right.
That he is still a promise keeper. He is still more than able to do exceeding abundantly above, even in the midst of their sadness, their pain, their discouragement.
All of it.
He is more than able to still turn things around. But we need to be, first of all, we have to encourage ourselves in the Lord.
Amen.
But then we need to surround ourselves with like-minded people. Because when I think about some people who have been called to greatness, and it's a lonely path sometimes.
Yes.
And if you don't have the right people in your circle and in your ear, and I mean, just this morning, let's just be real. This morning, we check in every morning.
Yes.
And we do life. But this morning, my girl called me, and I'm at the park near my house. She's at the park near her house. We're trying to work our bodies out. And she said, how you doing?
How you feeling?
And in that moment in my car, before I got out to work my body out, I had to just sit in my truth. But I knew this was a safe space. So as I cried to my sister about my current situation, the situation that I was facing this morning, she was that sister that somebody needs to say, okay, but have you thought about this? Have you considered this? And then before we both finished, we were praying.
Amen.
And by the time I made it around that track,
you were ready to go.
Girl,
Talk of the world.
look at here.
Let me tell you.
Look at here.
I woke up this morning, I was tired. Wasn't nothing wrong, but I was tired. When you're tired, the enemy will attack you.
Always.
Come on.
And I was tired.
Come on.
My 6:30 prayer partner called me, Angela Wilkes, and I said, I'm tired. She said, you sound horrible. I feel horrible. I'm tired. I did not rest well. And then we began to talk about Ruth and Boaz. And we began to talk about different stuff before we prayed and began to ask God stuff. And she said, just sit still. And God said, don't go nowhere. I mean, don't go anywhere. I laid out this. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to get me some eyelashes, because y'all know I love eyelashes. I'm going to get me some, because that's one of my masks, my eyelashes, because I don't have none. So I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. God said, don't go anywhere.
I love it.
Don't go anywhere. Get your show ready and do nothing.
Sit down.
Sat down. Sat yourself down. Sat down. And that's what happened. I had plans, though. I was going to go here and go there and do this and do that, and I'm going to be ready. I said, no, you need to sit down. But it was a place. I get you. But then again, what I want people to understand is, because you find yourself in that space, it doesn't mean that your greatness still doesn't exist.
Come on. And that's the truth, right? That's the truth. And some of us, we talk about going through it. God reminded me, because honey, she talks about, our morning check-ins. I was in the basement of my feelings the other day. But God reminded me, he said, you will not die in this valley. You will walk through this valley. I never intended you to stay here, and you will not die here. You will walk through this valley, and I want you to pick up the lessons along the way, because I'm strengthening you in this valley. And when you get out of this valley, somebody else is coming right through this valley, and I will be able to now reach back and say, this is what God told me in this valley. And so somebody needs to hear that part.
Yeah.
You are not going to die in this valley. You're not by yourself. You have people around you. And if you do need to delete some people, or listen, delete works, unfriend works, block, all of that works, especially if they no longer serve you well in your life.
And even if they do, there are times you have to just shut it down. Because I was sitting there and I was like, oh, I got to give this client this quote. And I was sitting there, it's like, okay, I'm going to rest and I'm not going to rest. And I was trying not to rest because I got to fix it. I got to make it right. And it just didn't work. And God said, sit down. When I got up in the right time, called the right person, they gave me the right figure. Everything that I was worried about was so already prepared for me to do.
I'm telling you, that's my story. You speaking my truth.
It was already, and I called one person. She said, no, do it like this, say that. And I woo-saw like I should have done at the beginning because, see, this is about trusting God, about being courageous, about being confident. Okay, Lord, I got to walk out this door, and I don't know what's on the other side of that.
Come on.
But he does. Yes. You with me?
Yes.
Didn't I tell you I'm with you?
Come on.
I'm with you. You know, kids say, that's right. You with me?
Yes.
Y'all with me? Yes.
Yes.
I'm with, not with you. I'm with you and I'm with you.
I'm with you and I'm with you.
Yeah.
And he said for us to have, well, this was for me. And I'm going to share with all y'all. I have been working on fearless faith. Fearless faith.
Ooh,
and that's hard. That's hard.
God bless you.
It is hard. But I have been saying, Lord, I want fearless faith in this season. I know that you're requiring me to just sit in this moment and watch all of this swirl. Because when I say all of it's swirling, all of it's wobbly, it is. But he has required me to see his hand.
Yes. And let me say this as we take a station break. That fearless faith is absolutely imperative. God has given me something to do. So I sent it to somebody and they didn't respond. I sent it to somebody else. And he said, I didn't give it to them. Your faith should be in me. And I said, okay. And he said, and don't have no attitude with them. It's not their task. Here, you, Daddy. Do what I told you to do. If it was good enough for me to give to you.
Come on.
And I had a guest here that said that a couple of weeks ago that she had a nonprofit and she took them something and they said, we don't like it. And they tried to vote her out.
Oh.
Of her own group that she founded. And she said, God said, I didn't give it to them. Now go back and put a plan of action to do what I told you to do.
Come on.
And today she's staying strong, doing absolutely incredible work out of state in a whole nother city. So folks, have fearless faith. Yeah. Don't give up. Be confident and be courageous. And don't feel bad if you got some issue. I got trauma. We all got trauma. But I'm working on it. I tell you, I'm working on it. And you'd be surprised how God wants to heal us through these processes. Stay tuned as we take a station break at 106liveradio.com. There's another nugget that they want to drop. And I want you to catch it. I want you to get your tool basket out now. Put these things in there so that when you're going through these processes, the things that they're sharing with you, you can help move you forward to the next level.
Broadcasting live from Atlanta while serving the entire globe. It's the fastest growing radio on the web. It's 106liveradio.com.
Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, many people have spent more time online than they normally do, which means that more people are exposed to cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is bullying that happens through digital devices, such as phones or computers. Please join 106liveradio.com to help stop cyberbullying.
I want to get back to kissing the cheeks of my grandbabies, making Sunday dinner with a house full of family and lots of laughs.
COVID-19 has changed how we live and how we feel. But now there are vaccines, and they are the very first step that let us get back to what we miss most. It's okay to have questions.
Is it safe?
Should I wait? Now, get the facts. Visit getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision when vaccines are available to you. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Courage. I learned it from my adoptive mom. Hold my hand.
You hold my hand. Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
This is 106liveradio.com, where we like to keep your weekdays purposeful and to give you the motivation you need to get through the work week hustle with shows like
The Morning Rise with a Variable Y, where along with your R&B and hip-hop throwbacks, we discuss mental health, sports, and entertainment. Tune in weekdays, 6 to 10 a.m.
And from 10 to 2 p.m., it's the Tanasha Gray Show, a faith-based show that brings empowerment and godly love to your work week. Weekdays from 10 to 2 p.m. Then to round out your Mondays, get some solid financial advice from our money guru, Dennis Charles, with Money Mondays from 4 to 6 p.m. And for those midday hours, you're invited to the 106 Throwbacks Party with the hits that'll never age and keep you dancing weekdays from 2 to 6 p.m.
On Wednesdays and Fridays, come learn about food, not just about how it tastes, but how it can help sustain your health. The Chef Zone with Chef Jay and Chef Katora, Wednesdays and Fridays from 2 to 4 p.m.
Wednesday and Friday afternoons from 4 to 6 p.m. we're harping on purpose and getting down with meaningful discussions and interviews on the C. Harper Show. All these diverse shows are available when you tune in through the TuneIn app, or simply just download the 106 Live Radio app from the Google and Apple Play Store to listen from anywhere. Subscribe to our YouTube page for live shows and never miss out with 106liveradio.com, where excitement meets diversity 24/7.
You listen when your body says, I'm tired, or I'm hungry. What if your body said something else might be wrong? Gynecologic cancers, cervical, ovarian, and uterine cancers have symptoms, so pay attention. If your body says something may be wrong, please listen. If it goes on for 2 weeks, see a doctor. It may be nothing, but find out, learn the symptoms, get the inside knowledge about gynecologic cancers.
Are you thinking of changing your marketing strategy? 106 Live Radio is the solution you need to promote your goods and services. For a limited time only, we are offering special advertising rates on our fast-growing radio network. We can also help you create an audio commercial or a website banner that fits your business needs. It is just that simple. Visit our website at 106liveradio.com for details.
Bringing you the best shows and music 24/7 on your favorite radio. It's 106liveradio.com.
Download the 106 Live Radio app from your Google Play Store. Or find us on the TuneIn app.
You're listening to the C. Harper Show, harping on purpose on 106 Live Radio, simulcasting on 106 R&B and Throwback and 106 Inspiration.
Show talking with Dr. Deyonne Parker and Dr. Nicole Steele. The best conversations in radio is when you're on the breaks. And I say, we got to write this down because somebody needs this nugget. So who is Beyond Brilliant Network created for? What kind of woman needs what you're offering?
Well, that's a great question, because the reality is the Beyond Brilliant Network is not for everybody. And people may be sitting there going like, what is she talking about? But is that okay? So the Beyond Brilliant Network is for women who are ready to do the work. Dr. D, I always find it so encouraging as we walk through this journey, and as you, as well as myself and the women that we are able to walk this thing out with, are very transparent about the work that we've had to do.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
yes.
are continuing to do it, because as we said before the break, Dr. Parker, I talked to Harper. Girl, I done made you. I'm calling you Dr. Parker. You Dr. Harper.
That's an honor. Okay, I'll be Dr. Harper.
I'm impressed.
I'll be her.
But I think about the work that has to be done. And sometimes, though we never arrive, people aren't ready to do the work.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
You're right.
Until you get ready,
girl.
Don't listen. We had this conversation this week here at the station.
Mm-hmm.
If they not ready, y'all, they not ready.
Right.
And listen, there's nothing that we can do about it.
That's right.
But listen, if you're not ready, don't hold other people back.
That's right.
There's that part.
That's right.
So the Beyond Brilliant Network are for women who are ready, women who are sick and tired of being sick and tired, women who are not just sick and tired, but maybe some are already shining, but they are ready to take their brilliance to a new level, but yet and still they're ready to do more work. They're ready to refine this thing that God has created them to do and to be. And so when we think about who the Beyond Brilliant Network is for, it's for women who are wanting to grow personally.
Yeah.
And so when you think about that, it might be a mother of young children, or maybe a mother whose children are moving into adulthood. And now they put all of their attention and their time and invested so much in their children. Now that they're an empty nester, they're trying to rediscover who they are. They're being reintroduced to themselves. And so this is a network for them where they can come, where they can learn one from another, where they can be encouraged and they can stir up those gifts again. The Beyond Brilliant Network is for professional women, whether they are young professionals that are entering in, that are looking for mentorship, for women, for role models, or what we like to call real models, who can help show them the way and make their pathway easier, or maybe for seasoned professionals who are at the peak of their, professional life, but have that wisdom. And women can sit at their feet and learn, or maybe they're trying to go into a new position. What did you did something some time ago in terms of reinventing. Reinvention. You did a whole thing on reinventing yourself. So there are a lot of women who might be in a season of reinvention, and yes, it can be scary. They might not be clear, but getting into an environment where you can share your brilliance one with another, where you can glean brilliance from another sister, and where you can be encouraged. And like Dr. D talks about, it's that little back, the hand in your back is saying, girl, you got this. We're here for you. This is safe. Come on. We're cheering for you. So that's what the Beyond Brilliant Network is for. And I'll tell you, or maybe you want to share who it's not for.
I would let you do the honors.
Okay, well,
I know you like
that
part.
Listen, tune in, ladies and gentlemen. Lean in. Let me tell you who the Beyond Brilliant Network is
all the
not
way
for.
in.
Okay. It is not for the drama mamas.
Come on.
This is a place where we have zero tolerance for the drama. So if you are looking to come into a network and cause friction and just gossip and point and compare and be critical, this is not the network for you. If you are listening and you want to, you have dreams, but you're not ready, but you don't want to see other people get theirs because you want to hold everybody back till you're ready. This is not the network for you. We're not going to leave nobody behind, but we're not going to have no weight holding other people back from their brilliance. So this is not the network for you. When you're ready, you can plug in.
Yes.
But please don't log on. Do not log on to beyondbrilliantnetwork.com if that is you. I think about people, and I do want to just speak to the people who may go in all honesty to the Beyond Brilliant, to beyondbrilliantnetwork.com to check out the network, or maybe they want to learn more about our broadcast and they'll go to Beyond Brilliant Broadcast. But you might like what you're hearing, but even as you're thinking about the possibilities, you're already writing all the reasons why it's not a good time. So some people may be struggling with, well, I don't have time. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm wearing all these hats, and I really don't have time to focus on me. Let me tell you something. You don't have time not to.
Come on.
Because there is a sense of urgency.
Mm-hmm.
There's a pull on that purpose that's on your life. There are people who are waiting for you to get into position.
And I'm raising my hand because I know when she talks about time, I just want you to lean in one more time, lean in all the way so you can hear, or if you're watching, lean closely. If you're binging, Netflix,
girl, come on.
if you're streaming, literally, if you're on a whole binge of some sort of show,
Drama
you
show.
got time. You have time. It's just where you choose to spend it. Nothing wrong, no shade on binging, because I got a couple of those myself, and it's a time and a place.
Yeah.
But you do have time. It's just the choice of where you're going to spend it. So I just had to pause for that announcement there.
Then help people with time management. That's not easily achieved by everyone,
Yes.
Some people start out in the morning, they're going to do right before they know it, they're on Facebook, and they spend 2 hours looking at that.
One of the things that changed my life was something that I read that talked about time and associated with currency. And so when you think about it, when we wake up in the morning, when you look at some of the most professional people, the people who have achieved the highest, I guess, accolades in their various fields, we all get the same 24 hours every day.
That's right.
Period.
That's
Nobody,
right.
God doesn't divvy out hours like, okay, we're going to give D 28. We're going to give Cynthia 30. We're just going to give Nicole 15 hours. We have the same currency. So just like real monetary currency, what you do and where you invest it matters.
Yes.
So I have an actual daily affirmation that God gave me long ago, and it's today I will arise and shine. And the S stands for I will seek the will and wisdom of God in all things.
Come on.
The H is I will ask for the help that I need through education and delegation. The I is I will be intentional about my time, about my words, about my thought. I need to be intentional with my time.
I love it.
The N is I will nurture myself. Talk about self-care. And I will nurture my relationships, because relationships matter. And for me, the E is I will equip and empower ladies, leaders, and little girls, because that's my purpose.
All right.
I like that.
But going back to the I about intentionality. So when you talk about time management, there's not a day throughout the week where I don't get up one day and have a list of things to do that I need to accomplish. And I guarantee you, 3 out of the 7 days a week, my whole schedule is going to get snatched by something.
Yeah.
Because life happens.
Yes.
However, when I lay my head down to sleep, I have to ask myself, have I been purposeful, Lord? Have I been a good steward, even if it didn't go the way that I had intended it to go? Have I been a good steward in some form or fashion? And if the answer is no, because God's mercies are brand new every day, I have a choice to get up that next day and try it again.
Yes.
So we have to be very, very intentional. Sitting back, like she said, we all have the same amount of time. And I like a binge too. I have a day that I commit to binging. Or sometimes my binge time is after I've had a good day of productivity.
Yes.
And that's my treat. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So,
and I'd love to add to what you just said about time, and because everything that you said is so true. I also want to give the listeners something else to add to that as well, because you're right. Time is finite.
yes.
You will not get any more than 168 hours in a week. That's what you get. That's it. But energy expands and renews. So when I want you to understand about that is that, demand is going to be demand. And we try to, our capacity is our capacity. Our demand is going to keep rising. The capacity that we have may not keep rising with the demand on our lives. But what we can do is to expend our energy that we bring to whatever we do. And in order for us to do that, we have to renew ourselves. So no matter how much time you have, it's the energy, the quality of your energy that you're bringing to the time that you have. And that's how you become more sustainable in your performance. Whatever you're doing, that means your physical energy, that means your emotional energy, that means your spiritual energy, that means your mental energy. You have to renew it, going back and replenishing yourself. That means if you go and take a break, take a walk, meditate, breathing, just literally deep breathing helps you to renew yourself in order for you to bring your best to the time that you have. So I just want to add that to what you just said. It was so amazing.
That's good. Let me add this as well, because we're talking about the barriers. that some people who are listening say, oh, this sounds great, but we're going to get all the butts out of the way. Move the butts out of the way. So there are going to be some people who visit beyondbrilliantnetwork.com, and they're going to see we actually have 3 different levels, Dr. Cynthia, that people can plug in. We have a complimentary level, which is basically that. Come one, come all. We want to be able to touch women wherever they are. We have a community level. And then we have, starting in August, something that's called a club level, a premium experience. And for those people, they're going to be in master classes. They're going to be in a cohort of women who are ready to just push it to the limit. There's some perks that come with that. But regardless, when people go out, and be it with this network or any opportunity, people will say, well, I don't have the resources. You said it earlier. How much do my lashes cost? The nails, the Chick-fil-A, the Starbucks 5 days a week. You know what I mean?
Right.
The things that are important, we can invest in. And what better ground to invest in than in yourself?
That's right.
You know, when you think about the investment of time and definitely the investment of resources.
That's
when
right.
I tell you, going back to the biggest investment I've ever made in my life by getting a coach for myself and going through a year-long journey of self-discovery just a few years ago as the confidence coach, as one that is pouring. But guess what? I needed to be poured into, and that was the best investment, to sit at the feet, to be able to rub elbows with other women and men, and to have myself renewed so that I can be a better coach, so I can be a better consultant, so I can be a better mother, a better wife, a better daughter and sister. And so when I think about that, some people may have barriers because they're looking at this and they may share it with their friend and say, girl, I heard these ladies on 106 and they got the Beyond Brilliant Network, and girl, we should sign up. And they might have the friends that ain't trying to hear it. Girl, what?
What are you doing?
So some people may not have someone to walk this journey with them. But the reality is, everybody's not going where you're going, boo.
That's right.
Yeah.
For
That's
real.
right.
It's tight, but it's right.
That's right. That's
It's like
right.
a score. You know,
That's
like
right.
a score of fish, and all the fish are going this way.
That's right.
And then there's one that just veers off.
Yes.
And you need to be the one that veers off.
That's set apart.
That's set apart. That's the sanctification. That's the
right.
righteousness of it. Yeah. And you also need to be the one that, before you try to be all things to all people, be better to yourself.
Real talk.
Be better to yourself. And that's the season I'm in. Be better to yourself.
Yes.
That's good.
You know, and so being single, I get to declare that God's my husband. So he's obligated to take care of me. And so sometimes I put him on the spot. I did it this morning. I said, well, you want me to do nothing? Then you do something, God. And he showed up.
Yes,
amen.
And before the day was open, I had to do nothing. But because of some advice that I gave him to me, I really felt like I did nothing. Cash App ring, ding, 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 ding,
I
ding.
love it.
And from just doing nothing to $600.
Amen.
And I mean, literally, God said, go nowhere.
I got
So
it.
till it's
I got
time.
you,
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So my whole point in saying all of that is, you're right, y'all. It's time for all of us, though. As they should say, bust a move. And that's an old
You're going back.
It's way back.
Way back, girl.
Way back. But we want to be beyond brilliant.
Yes.
That sparkle, that shine that you leave everywhere you go. Beyond brilliant.
Yes.
You got to push and go the extra mile.
Yeah.
You really do.
And you got to go by yourself sometimes.
Yeah. And that is going to literally, we talk about the cost. It is going to cost you something. But as my sister said, it is an investment in the stock of you.
Yes.
You are a great stock to invest in.
Yeah.
And it will cost you something, but
it's going to yield a return.
Exactly. And which cost are you willing to pay, right? The cost of doing nothing, you know, or staying in the same position that you were year after year, or the cost of doing something different that's going to challenge you in a different way.
I like to say it like this. We can invest now, or we can pay later.
Yeah, that's right.
One of the two. So we can invest the time, we can invest the resources, we can invest in the relationships that are going to serve us well, and that we will serve well, because it's never one-sided. We can invest the kind words, being kind to ourselves, making sure that we create a Sabbath in our life, whether it's Sunday or whatever day, that there's a day where you shut it all down. It's going to cost you something. You can invest something. You got to invest. But if you don't invest, it's going to cost you something.
That's
You
right.
know what I mean? It's going to cost you peace of mind. It's going to
Yes.
cost you regret. It's going to cost you
That's right.
relationships, being in the wrong place at the wrong time in the wrong season.
My goodness.
All of the things.
Lost
It's going to cost you.
opportunities.
Yes.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
Or wait, let me say this. Or it's going to cost you seeing your Heavenly Father face to face.
Mhm.
Hoping that he'll say, well done, but he'll say,
What happened?
What happened? And let me encourage somebody. Just start where you are. You know, I remember when you and I
That's right.
started at the table. We was at Mama Joe's table.
Yes.
And we worked all summer long on Diamond in the Rough. And we worked on the options curriculum. And by the way, I found something that you might want to take a look at from options that we did 15, 18 years ago.
Yeah. Wow.
It's a complete manual. And I got to show you that. But we started on the table. Who would have thunk? Let's make up this word. Who would have thunk that today, from working on Diamond in the Rough and doing a presentation at Atlanta Workforce Development, that you would have gym makers and you and Dee would be on the cusp of multinational training of women and leading. And though me and you went this far, you and Dee are going that far. And then somebody else would go, who would have thunk it? But you didn't quit.
Amen.
And you didn't quit either.
Amen. Amen.
I'm saying, and God will veer you to where you need to be. Just start somewhere.
Amen.
Just start somewhere.
Woo-wee.
Just, don't give up on you. One thing God doesn't do is give up on us.
Never.
Somebody said last week at the station, and we know this, we never fail with God. We get a retake.
Oh, that's good.
Over and over again. You can have the
thank God for the
worst
retake.
relationship in the world, and God has the ability to restore it.
Oh,
Always.
because he's
Always.
such a good daddy.
You could have fallen. He's a great daddy. He's our father. He's your husband while you're single. And he's your husband while you're married because he's your first husband.
Come on.
He's your first husband while you're married.
That's right.
Because you go to him and then you go to the earthly father. Because you
that's
say, now,
right.
Daddy, help this man understand what we're trying to do right now. Because it don't always work out perfect.
You say, get your son.
Get your son. And then God tell you, wait a minute, I'll be talking about my son.
That's right.
Well, why you saying
Get
get your son? You saying, Lord, get me too.
Get me all the way together.
Because he
Get me
loves his
together.
little managed tail boy. He love him. And he don't need you to correct him. That's what he does.
He does.
Y'all, we
He
listen
does
to
it well.
106liveradio.com. We just want us to get it right. I've been saying this since I've been on the air. Please quit putting things off. Quit pretending. You don't have to be what the world has called you to be. Don't compare. Don't compete. Don't get in all that. Complete what God's called you to do. Yes. Your worthiness is already waiting for you. And what you're looking for is looking for you.
Yes.
You're listening to 106liveradio.com. We're going to take a station break here. Come back, close out. Let Dr. Steele and Dr. Parker give us some more nuggets to close out with, how to reach them, things they're going to do, what we can expect from the show. And we want to thank them for being, vulnerable and naked and not perfect. That's what it's about, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. What you say about that, my friend over there? What you say about that?
You're listening to the C. Harper Show, harping on purpose on 106 Live Radio, simulcasting on 106 R&B and Throwback and 106 Inspiration.
Broadcasting live from Atlanta while serving the entire globe. It's the fastest growing radio on the web. It's 106liveradio.com.
This is Reese B., a student of Atlanta Metropolitan State College, bringing awareness to bleeding disorders. So let's take the opportunity for our community to band together and spread the word about the issues that affect nearly 3 million individuals annually. With a disorder such as von Willebrand disease and hemophilia, during Bleeding Disorders Awareness Month, we invite members, families, and supporters of the bleeding disorder community to join us in educating and raising critical awareness and funds to improve the lives of those diagnosed with the bleeding disorder.
How long does it take to get to the forest?
That's not far.
What are we going to do? Hike?
Sure.
Are we there yet?
Yep. It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org, brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
106 Live Radio wants to give you the tools to tune in from anywhere to listen to your favorite shows by simply downloading the 106 Live Radio app from the Google and Apple Play Store and enjoy some of our amazing stations like Caribbean Radio, which will take you away to the islands, courtesy of DJ Dutchie, and his show Caribbean Drive, Saturdays, 6 to 9 p.m. On 106 Inspiration, we're bringing you closer to your faith and helping to empower yourself with the good word with The Upper Room, hosted by Jason and Tanasha Gray, from 8 to 12 p.m. every Sunday. And if you want to get your groove and party on, head on to the 106 R&B and Throwbacks and make sure to tune in to Dre Patrick's Foreign Matters radio show from 12 to 2 p.m. and Cece's World from 4 to 6 p.m. And make sure to follow us on our social media at 106 Live Radio on Facebook and Instagram.
Ow!
Flying objects, tools, particles, chemicals, and harmful radiation are the causes of most eye injuries. And in many cases, implementing safe work practices and utilizing appropriate personal protective equipment can prevent them entirely. And while many people think that eye injuries primarily occur in manufacturing, construction, or trade jobs, nearly 40% of work-related eye injuries occur in offices, healthcare facilities, laboratories, and similar environments. We here at GTG Traffic Signals believes something as simple as putting on a pair of safety glasses can prevent serious eye injuries. These injuries are painful, cause many lost workdays, and sometimes lead to permanent vision loss. This message is sponsored by GTG Traffic Signals, located in Marietta, Georgia. Reminding you today and year-round, remember to wear your safety glasses.
Are you thinking of changing your marketing strategy? 106 Live Radio is the solution you need to promote your goods and services. For a limited time only, we are offering special advertising rates on our fast-growing radio network. We can also help you create an audio commercial or a website banner that fits your business needs. It is just that simple. Visit our website at 106liveradio.com for details.
Bringing you the best shows in music 24/7 on your favorite radio. It's 106liveradio.com.
Harper Show, harping on purpose on 106 Live.
We're back at 106 Live Radio at the Harper Show. So I want you guys to give us some pointed nuggets about not the rest of it, but more additional things with Beyond Brilliant Network.
Yes, let's drop some gems real quick. So those that are listening, first of all, we want to invite your listeners to go to the company's website, which is gemmakers.org. Okay. And at that website, they can find out some of the offerings that we provide people, regardless of whether or not they plug into our network. We have different packages. Dr. D talked about our Just a Girl with Goals. We have a goals getter package for people who are wanting to really hone in and really figure out what does God have for me in this season. We do brilliant brainstorms with individuals. We do coaching and consulting. We've got a pivot package, which is actually entitled Don't Panic Pivot. And so there may be business people who are looking and saying, you know what, I can't do business the way that I used to pre-COVID. I've got to do something different. God gave me a vision, but he can tweak it, he can turn it, he can help you pivot and not just survive, but actually thrive. And so they can visit us at gemmakers.org to learn about all of the services that we have going on the Gym Makers side of the house. But when it comes to the Beyond Brilliant Network and this whole thing that we're doing, the first thing people can do is tune in to our weekly broadcast every Tuesday at 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Again, yes, put it on your schedule. And if you're at
Tuesday at 4. How do we get to it?
They can go, all the details, including the viewing listings, can be found on our website, which is beyondbrilliantbroadcast.com. Okay. And so there's a long list of all of the different places that you can plug in to look at it live or on demand. So you can go back and listen to the rebroadcast. So tune in and
All right.
And now, Dr. D, let's tell them about the network and all of the benefits and the ways that they can not only plug in, but also can be a blessing and be blessed.
Absolutely. So again, the first thing we want you to do is join the network. So you can go over to yourmakers.org. You can go over to the Beyond Brilliant Network. Please go there to beyondbrilliantnetwork.com to join the network. And again, we talked about the 3 levels that you'll be able to join. So please feel free to choose which one works for you. But when you're there, we want you to scroll, click. Open up all the things that you can to learn more about it, because it's going to bless you. You not only are going to find that you'll be a part of a community, but you'll find that there's going to be curated content. Literally, you can do some self-paced learning on your own. You'll also be able to plug into a lot of the different experiences. And when we say experiences, we mean truly, it is a creative experience. So you can also become one of our brilliant business partners. So if you have something to share, if you have some type of expertise that you think would be great for the community, we want you to be a part of that, but you have to join the network to see and to take advantage of that as well.
Well, I think we have advertising opportunities. So again, anything that we can do to share our platform with other brilliant businesses out there. And we've got some sisters that have some incredible businesses. And so guess what? We want to tell the world. We want to amplify those businesses, be it ad opportunities either on the broadcast, with television commercials, or with print ads in and through, and being able to put those on social media and push them out to our community and really support the work that people are doing. Again, if you want to share your brilliance, I know listening in today, we have coaches, we have consultants, we have teams, subject matter experts in various fields, and maybe you have some brilliance that you can add to the community. Maybe you can come and talk about finances, teach us how to be brilliant with our money, with our bucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There are a lot of different things. We don't profess, even though we're the founders of the network, we in no way profess to know it all. But we've created a space for people to come and to shine without apology. So again, we invite people to visit us either at gymmakers.org or find information on the network at beyondbrilliantnetwork.com.
And one thing I want to real quickly add is that we take letters on our show.
Yes.
So we have a segment on our show called the Brilliant Bags segment, Brilliant Bag. And we have had people write in with a question or a scenario that they really want answered.
Okay.
And so you'll see an upcoming show coming up where we actually address those questions. So please feel free. If you've got a dilemma, you need some brilliance, you're just stuck and you want us to answer that. We do not blast you out. We will keep it anonymous, but we want to answer your question live there on our show. So I wanted to say that as well.
And one of the things I do want to mention that members of the network will also be able to take advantage of, and that's really tapping into the biblical brilliance.
Yes.
And so we have just an incredible team of women who are there not only to help you personally and professionally, but to help you grow spiritually.
Yes.
So whether you are just coming into a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, or you've been walking this thing out for a long, long time, we know that he is the ultimate gym maker. Yes, we run gym makers, but he's the CEO. He is the one, because he is the gym maker. And in the hands of the gym maker, we can all be transformed.
Amen.
We can all be shaped and molded. We are multifaceted by design, unique, brilliant, set apart, beautiful, and bold. All of those characteristics describe me and my sister Dee and my sister Dr. Cynthia.
Mm-hmm.
But he is the ultimate gym maker. So we know that we can do all things through him. And we invite you to come in and be part of it.
We usually end our time. I know we're running out of time on this wonderful show with our beautiful hostess with the mostest. And we usually end our broadcast by saying some things that we want to leave you with. So we're going to say it together today. So we like to tell you this: be bold,
be brave,
and be brilliant.
Yes.
That's it, folks. You heard it from the Confidence and the Courageous Coach, 2 dynamic multinational trainers, speakers. If you're looking for someone to come to your church, your community, your corporate environment, they are available for hire. I've taken many of their workshops. They're phenomenal. I thank God that they're in my life. I can pick up the phone and call them. Lord, when they get so big, I'm gonna be able to call them. I'm gonna be mad. I just park out in front of their house. But you're listening to 106 Live Radio. Oh, get ready. Some great things are getting ready to take place. I tell you, they don't want to take this brilliance away. They want to bring it back to you. Be intentional. Be excited. Don't let nothing stop you from getting what was purposed for you. This is C. Harper. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Be content, but never complacent.